whoever you are, wherever you are, hope you are blessed and doing safe. Ladies and gentlemen, greetings, family. Of course, I'm tuning in. You see me without the glasses off today, but if you're looking for some opportunities, particular advertisement opportunities, then look no further at the link at the bottom to my email address. You can hit me up for advertisement opportunities. We are supporting and promoting your businesses here on this channel. You can also, if you would like to donate and subscribe to our Patreon, a link is at the bottom as well. So you have multiple ways in which you can advertise with the platform by emailing me when we go on do our live stream. You also have access to premium content, those that want to see premium content that you will not find here on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, as I am suspended probably by now. You guys can check out the Patreon at link at the bottom. But advertisement opportunities, definitely email me, gavin.grich1@gmail.com for rates. And for the Patreon, it is the same as the YouTube channel. It is channel gboot2786. All right, I'll holla. Peace.
Hi, I'm attorney Gavin M. Richard. Check out my latest book, The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus William H. Cosby Jr., The Destruction of Due Process in America. For approximately 2 years now, I have gone on a painstaking quest to investigate the rise and fall of an American icon, Bill Cosby. In the mid-1980s, there was not a star that was higher than Cosby. Advertisements with Coca-Cola, Jell-O, Kodak, along with the #1 television show for 5 straight years in a row. On Thursday nights, it was must-see TV on NBC. Cosby resurrected the genre of the traditional family sitcom that was once thought dead by television critics. He did this as a Black American with an all-Black cast and showed mainstream network executives in white America that it was possible to be successful without showing the worst in people. He also demonstrated the power that television had, as it can make younger people dream to be the best that they can be. However, like many celebrity stars, unfortunately, they all come crashing down, sometimes by their own fault, others not so much. In this book, I attempted to highlight certain things. We go in depth into both of his trials in 2017 and 2018, respectively. What if I told you that these criminal trials were politically motivated by an overzealous district attorney? Will you also be shocked to learn the attacks on Mr. Cosby did not start in 2014, but also in the 90s, not long after his attempted quest to purchase a major network? From where did all of these allegations of sexual misconduct come from? Were the accusers telling the truth? In the 2 years of research, with some help from others interested in learning the truth and facts about this case, we discussed both the legal reasons why his prosecution and trial were illegal, unwarranted, and also the possible personal motives as to why this may have occurred. Most importantly, we warn about the dangers of prejudice and why trial by social media, or mainstream media rather, should never be the norm. All this and more in The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus William H. Cosby Jr., The Destruction of Due Process in America. Available on Amazon this fall in Kindle and paperback format.
No, we don't know who was in your studio audience, Johnny. That was over 40 years ago. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus William H. Cosby Jr. Destruction of Due Process in the United States. That is available now on Amazon Kindle and soon to be in paperback format. Ladies and gentlemen, hello, you can get that on Amazon Kindle, as we said. Whoever you are, wherever you are, hope you are blessed and doing safe. We are live, and I'm coming at you with 5. It is Random Topic Thursdays, the hottest live stream here on YouTube, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, you can support our channel by going to the Cash App, PayPal, Zelle. Support this channel as we are not monetized. We ask that you would please support so we can keep the channel going. Ladies and gentlemen, I would ask you also if you would mind ordering some Creole seasoning blends as well to support our channel, known as CreoleBlends.com. Try it on chicken, meat, or fish. Knowns goes great with every dish. Subscribe also to the at Commonwealth Cause page, Facebook page, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, tonight on our live stream, we will be discussing the following. Kanye West and Candace Owens say white lives matter. More fallout behind no voting, no bucking. Is this what they think of Black Americans? More fallout over Herschel Walker, but is his son Christian Walker a hero? And I also want to go back. We're going to talk about some other topics as well, including this Billy Eichner movie. I wanted to get Sean's take on that. And speaking of Sean, he is the author of the up-and-coming Woman Crisis that is on available for pre-order right now on Amazon.com, and you can also buy Stop Sipping in Cyberspace. That is the one and only Shawn James, author of over 75 books. He'll be joining us shortly, ladies and gentlemen. In the meantime, of course, let's check out some tunes that we have, especially on iTunes. As you know, it's time to get on down. When it is time to get on down, it's also time for us to get on up. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let us go ahead and get on up, shall we? Sorry. That was the right code.
Girl, come on. Gotta dance to the beat, cause on the dance floor is where we're going.
Show me what you got.
Gotta feel the groove.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up.
Right now the party's wasted. There's nothing much to do. But once the groove gets started, tell me, what do you have to lose? Just look into my eyes, girl, as we glide across the room. And what to my surprise now, the beat takes hold of you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really moving. Time to get your body moving. Gotta get all up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get all up and shake something.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up.
Tell the DJ play the whispers. Rock steady in the mood. Put on earth, wind, and fire. Tonight we're gonna groove. Show me how you do the four corners. Electric slide or two. Hit the bus stop or do the bunny hop, baby. It's really up to you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really moving. Time to get your body moving. Gotta get all up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something.
Feel Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the
Now, 2020 hasn't been the best year of all times. We've been dealing with death, the pandemic, racism, bad policing, and all the bad rhymes. But like Uncle Snoop once said, if you breathe and you achieve. And so, if you're ready, I need you all to get on up. Are you ready? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Get your butt on the dance floor. 5 and 6 and 7, 8. This jam we appreciate. We're gonna slide and step on the beat. On the dance floor is where we'll be.
feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up
And move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the
Baby, yeah, gotta get on up. Come on, baby, gotta get on up. Baby.
feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Gotta get on up. Yeah, Bishop is grooving in his wheelchair to that. He's dancing. Don't get. It's just like Stevie Wonder. Stevie Wonder is not really blind, y'all. He sees so much. He's caught boomerangs. He can box mugs. From what I've heard, if you listen to the Charlie Wilson stories, Charlie Wilson said Stevie Wonder could fight. What my brother right in the boxing ring. If you think comedy is all jokes about my penis and you got I hit it from the back, that's what you think is comedy. That's not comedy. Rest in peace, Charlie Wilson. That's my Charlie Wilson, my Charlie Murphy impression. Charlie Wilson. I still haven't done a Charlie Wilson. I just do Charlie Murphy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna bring in our brother, the author extraordinaire, who will take a critical examination of your cooning and bootlicking that is affecting the black manosphere, which is bad as well for black people. Mr. Shawn James. Shawn, good evening. How are you, brother, buddy?
How are you?
I am doing good and doing great. Shawn, why don't you take this time, plug in some stuff you got going on this week?
Okay. You can pick up a pre-order for The Woman Crisis, my upcoming book coming out on November 29th. Going to go over to Amazon.com and other online booksellers. And if you want a paperback version, that will be available before November 29th. Right now, I'm in the middle of the final edits on The Woman Crisis. But if you want a digital copy, you can put in your pre-order right now at Amazon and other online booksellers like Smashwords, the iBook Store, and Google Play.
All right. Thank you, brother Shawn. You all do that. We're going to go ahead and get started. I guess there is no particular order we should start with, Shawn, but we'll just go ahead and just risk whatever we got to risk. So I want to talk about this because this was brought to my attention recently. Uh, I want to ask what you thought of this. I talked about this on my last live stream, but as you know, there's a race for governor that's going on out in Georgia. Governor. There's a race for governor. Stacey Abrams is running for governor against Brian Kemp, the incumbent Republican, as well as Herschel Walker running for senator against the incumbent Raphael Warnock. And most recently, some things have come out about your Herschel Walker, in particular that he does not the family man that a lot of people
American Federation
say
of
that
State.
he is, or he portrays himself to be. His son Christian Walker has even made videos coming out against his father. Now, I question the timing of this because this is actually around the time of voting, and of course, they always want to. There's always going to dig up something on some candidate that just comes up. But your Herschel Walker, apparently, it is well known that he has several children outside of marriage with different women. His own son apparently is denouncing himself from his father. But it also is, I think, ironic because Christian Walker has made, I believe, his living, or at least gotten into the public eye because the last name of his father. But he says everything has been a lie about his dad. So I'm going to play this clip, Shawn. I'm sure you've seen it, where he has made these remarks about his dad. I want to know what you think about him, and even talking about his father. So his father and how he did things to his mom. So want you to take a look at it. Let me know what you think. This is courtesy of WSAV3.
From our Georgia Capitol newsroom now, startling new developments in a deeply contentious race for the U.S. Senate seat. Tonight, candidate Herschel Walker, who is pro-life, is facing bombshell accusations that he paid for his girlfriend's abortion in 2009. As WSAV's Herschel Shashadri tells us, Walker is also dealing with shocking claims from his own son.
Herschel Walker's son, Christian, is speaking out about his father in a flurry of tweets. Quote, I've stayed silent for nearly 2 years as my whole life has been lied about publicly. I did one campaign event, then said I didn't want any involvement. Don't you dare test my authenticity. End quote.
My intention is don't lie about your life at the expense of me, my mom, and all of the people that you've affected throughout your life. You don't get to pretend you're some moral family guy. You don't get to pretend all these things. Talk policy, talk normal. Do not lie.
Herschel's son says his dad is not a family man after he left to be with several other women and made the family move 6 times in 6 months because of his violence.
I stayed silent as the atrocities committed against my mom were downplayed. I stayed silent when it came out that my father, Herschel Walker, had all these random kids across the country, none of whom he raised. And you know my favorite issue to talk about is father absence. Surprise, because it affected me. That's why I talk about it all the time, because it affected me. Family values people. He has 4 kids, 4 different women, wasn't in the house raising one of them.
Quote, I've spoken to nearly all of the people who have attacked me and told them quietly that I don't want to be involved. Now they're blaming me for everything I'm not responsible for. It's disgusting, end quote. Christian Walker says every relative asked Herschel Walker not to run because of his past, but Herschel denied all of the allegations on social media, calling them a flat-out lie. Archit Seshadri, WSAV News 3 on your side.
According to online reports, a canceled check and get well card indicate Walker paid for that abortion, but that has not been confirmed. Walker's camp says those claims are untrue.
Now, the report is also the woman who said Walker paid for her abortion is also the mother of his child. And the reporting comes from the Daily Beast. Of course, you always got to question them. But reportedly, he sends a get well soon card to her, paying for the abortion. And I guess, abortion is a very hot topic right now, Sean, because
Yeah.
Roe v. Wade was overturned. And many people, of course, they are calling us out because it makes that the real goal is to try and get abortion back, get abortion on demand back in states. And this is the so-called card that he supposedly sent to uh, the woman he paid for an abortion with. Now, I actually have a Herschel Walker autograph from years ago when I was a kid. This was when he signed his Dallas Cowboys. Watch, I'm gonna have people trying to break my damn home. He actually signed the autograph for me, but this was before he was in politics and so forth. Before we knew him, he was just the football guy, which technically he still is. But I have this article from Charles Blow. Now, Charles Blow, of course, writes for CNN. You see him all the time on CNN, and he wrote this column saying that Herschel Walker's son is not a hero. And he, of course, supports his son laying into his father. Yes, it has all been a lie. Even before the Daily Beast report, Herschel Walker's entire candidacy was a backpatting product of Donald Trump's binary friends or enemies approach to blackness. Trump handpicked him to run because he was the anti-Colin Kaepernick, a black football player who wouldn't resist but acquiesce, one who wouldn't campaign for Black lives but against them, one who wasn't articulate and principled, but unintelligible and fraudulent. And he goes in on Christian. He says Christian seems angry. He seems angry and hurt. And he comes across as a nasty piece of work. He says he's an election denier who opposes Black Lives Matter. He called it a terrorist organization and KKK and blackface, as well as gay pride, even though, as the Atlanta Journal-Constitution reporter Walker said, he is not gay, but is attracted to big, strong, masculine men. You know, that was like, he's very, let's just say, flamboyant. Is that a safe way to say it, Shawn?
Yeah.
So, but here's my thing. Of course, Charles Blow is going to talk about this. I'm not defending Herschel Walker. He's a buffoon. But this is also something that came up earlier today. It was being reported that Hunter Biden, there are talks of him being indicted, reportedly on tax and gun purchases. So federal agents are likely to charge him. This is coming from, I think this was also from the Washington, this was reported by the Washington Post. So it is not Fox News if you think that it's me, this report is just biased, but it's been reported that they have him on tax and gun purchase crimes. Allegedly, the younger Biden made false statements on paperwork to purchase a gun. Now, federal agents believe they have sufficient evidence to charge Hunter Biden with tax crimes and making false statements to purchase a gun. The Post reported on Tuesday that investigators probing the activities of Joe Biden's son believe they have gathered enough evidence several months ago, and that the decision now rests in the hands of local United States attorneys. This is from now, where is this on CNN?
If you're not making 150,
now you don't see that on story on CNN. It's not on there. I can tell you, I haven't even looked at CNN's website, and I can tell you, I can put money on it. It's not on here. Nowhere in the topics do I see, and we can search, nothing on Hunter Biden. Okay, I stand corrected. One, I'm wrong. So I would lose some money. I'm a man of my word. I would lose money if I put it up with somebody. But CNN does have it, but federal prosecutors weighing charges on two fronts in Hunter Biden investigation. So they do talk about it. And it's in the far right corner of the page. Right here. But of course, who's number one? Donald Trump.
Yep.
Breaking news. So here you have them talking about Donald Trump. Donald Trump is not even the president, and yet we have the president's own son. So we got the former president is number one. By the way, Biden pardons, they were making this big deal about President Biden pardoning all federal offenses of simple marijuana possession in the first major steps towards decriminalization. The president can pardon, but it only affects federal offenses, not state. We're more impacted by local and state local ordinances and state laws than we are even federal laws. Of course, uh, it affects all of us. But Shawn, when you see this, let's talk with Herschel Walker and his son. Do you think Herschel Walker's son is a hero, and what do you think of Herschel Walker in particular?
Well, with this whole Herschel Walker situation, I just think it's a battle of the bootlicks. And what's happening here is that white supremacy is basically going out here and playing its usual game of divide and conquer. Now, your white supremacists on the right and the left don't want Herschel Walker to win the office of Senate, and they really don't want him to win because they just don't want a black man having that kind of power, even if he's a bootlick. And it's like Professor Black Truth said in one of his classic videos today, most of the people who are against Herschel Walker are not Democrats, they're actually Republicans. And they've been speaking against your Herschel Walker since day one. And they've been speaking against him from day one, again, because they just don't like the idea of any black man having political power. And these people on the left and the right, they don't want to see a black man with political power. So what they're doing is they're just going to the lowest levels, even going out here and using Herschel Walker's son as a pawn. And your Herschel Walker's son really doesn't even understand what the real game is as related to white supremacy. He's so caught up in his feelings about the way his father allegedly mistreated the family that he's looking to get revenge, not understanding that what was being done to his father will eventually wind up being done to him because, as Professor Black Truth has always said, white supremacy always breaks its toys. And it's right now in the process of breaking your Herschel Walker. And he's doing this right in front of his son. But sadly, the son is so caught up in his feelings, he can't see that the white supremacist that's breaking his father eventually is going to turn on him and eventually break him. But again, this boy is so caught up in his feelings, he's not thinking critically about the situation and not understanding the game that's being run here. Because what the white supremacists are doing is they got Herschel Walker out here basically running the same playbook that they play with every black man that they see trying to gain either economic or political power. They're going to start talking about his sexual promiscuity to demonize him and make him out to be the bad guy because in mainstream media, what they want to do is present your black man as a big black sexually promiscuous buck who they believe they can use this to again demonize that black man and persuade people not to vote for him. And your Herschel Walker isn't really helping himself because he's just a big dumb ox. And this big dumb ox, every time he's out here talking, he basically puts his foot in his mouth. And again, he's running up against really weak competition. But the whole thing is that the white supremacists know that your Warnock is also weak and he's beatable. So they're planning for 6 years later when they get their candidate, and they really don't want Herschel Walker in the way of their candidate, who they're going to use to target your Hispanics, your Asians, and other minorities and white women. And then they're going to use that guy to go out here and take the seat that they see is easily one they can win. And they're going to just bring their candidate in because they don't want Herschel Walker, the minstrel, being in the way. Now, they were all down with this minstrel show as it was going on. But when they realized, hey, we need to get somebody serious so that we can push our agenda, they needed to get Herschel Walker, the clown, out of the way. And that's what they're doing right now because, again, they were never for him. And they're just getting ready to get rid of him on the right and the left. And again, your Herschel Walker can't really see the big picture, how he's just basically a pawn on the chessboard. And sadly, even though this boy has daddy issues, as related to the issues he has with his father, he can't see that white supremacy sees the father the same as the son.
Yeah, it's clear when you even look at this photo of him, and even this, he's clearly upset.
He's got daddy issues because his
Clearly got
father.
daddy issues. Yeah, he's got daddy issues, and they paid him off. And I mean, he's been bootlicking himself.
Yeah,
So I'm not really here to hear it. It's just like they got issues, and As an a lot of I shouldn't make a generalization, but a lot of entertainers, a lot of athletes, they may not make the best fathers. You know why? Because they're traveling all the time. They're
Yeah.
making money. They're going over here doing autograph signings. They're here doing press conferences. They're at the Super Bowl. They're in the Super Bowl. So they're not at home all the time. So, and yeah, they sleep around because that's part of the culture. That's the business, that's the life that they're in. But it's good. But I mean, even with the abortion thing, let me ask you something. Do you think that this is just a ploy to get Raphael Warnock in, or just to keep him in? So you think it's just slander that to do with Herschel Walker?
Well, it looks like to me that the right is playing chess with this whole move, and they would rather just, well, they'll let Warnock get the job, but the whole thing is that they're going to play long term and go out here and try with their own candidate that fits their agenda. With your Herschel Walker, he's just a bootlick and a clown, similar to Eric Adams. And when it comes down to bootlicks and clowns, they really don't have much use for them. And the whole thing is that they're trying to get rid of this dude so that they can bring in one of their more serious candidates so that they can compete later on. Now, your Warnock, I don't really see him lasting too long on the left either, because the left, again, what they do with these kind of guys is that, again, they break these toys and eventually they try to bring in their own guy after they get rid of this other guy. But sadly, many of these black bootlicks, they don't see what they're expendable to white supremacy. And white supremacy basically eventually has a plan to get rid of these guys sooner rather than later.
Well, I think too, it's important to remember this, Sean, as well, that Raphael Warnock, when he won the election back in, I think it was in 2020, I'm not mistaken, against the incumbent. I think this was a special election, right?
No, the
And
special election.
right,
Well, the
he
other guy had left, so they were both. It was the seat was
he didn't
open.
win by that much though. She had to, I believe, the person stepped down, right?
Yeah,
Kelly Lawfer. Uh, no, he was running against Kelly Lawfer. So they faced a runoff in 2021. So he won, but he only won by 93,000 votes, more than that. And really, he's been a dud. My understanding too, especially out in that state where he lives, and I talked about that church. Dr. Short has done some stuff on him, but the brother who ran for Jim Clyburn's seat, Marcel Dixon, actually ran up on Raphael Warnock asking him about reparations. And this is what he had to say. I'm going to put this up. But I do want to ask you your thoughts on Hunter Biden and Biden pardoning marijuana. What did you think of it? People are saying it's close to decriminalization.
well, that's an empty symbolic gesture that he's doing to get the black vote. And the whole idea of pardoning all those people is a way to try to pander to black voters. And what he's doing is he's trying to get people back on the blue plantation. But most black people now are just they heard what he had to say in 2020 about how he couldn't do anything for them. And we're realizing that all of these gestures, again, they're empty symbolic gestures meant to so-called help the black community passively but aggressively, not giving us any sort of tangibles at all. So, giving people pardons for marijuana, that does nothing for the average black man and woman who has been dealing with all of the economic oppression they've had for 60 years. And so this does nothing for us at all. I mean, again, just another Hail Mary thrown at black people. And we're looking at it and going, don't waste my time with this nonsense. Where is the tangibles? Cut the check and give us actual tangibles like you gave the Ukrainians, like you gave the Mexicans, and like you gave those Asians in policy, like the anti Asian hate bill. If you ain't got no tangibles, we have no reason to vote. And that's something your Joker Joe really needs to understand. The empty symbolic gestures, yeah, that got the boomers back in the day, but the boomers are dying out. And
Yeah.
you're going to, if you want to survive, you're going to have to put something on the table other than an empty symbolic gesture.
Now watch this. This is Marcel Dixon talking about reparations to Warnock. He posed this to him because Warnock has been talking about the importance of essential workers. And by that, they essentially mean that's code for illegal immigrants. Just like when your Senator John Kennedy made that campaign ad this week called if you don't like the police, the next time you get in trouble, call a crackhead. That is a code, ladies and gentlemen, for a black drug addict. That's what he meant. So watch this.
What about reparations? You mentioned essential workers, descendants of American slaves. We are the original essential workers, but we never got paid. We have reparations.
How about we'll hit you with a copyright strike?
What about reparations for your people? You don't talk about it. What are you going to do for us specifically? City and state.
He didn't even answer. He didn't answer Marcel's question. But that's Raphael Warnock. That's who they picked to unseat the incumbent. That wealthy rich lady.
Yeah.
Loafer. Kelly Loafer? Yeah, Loeffler. So, not impressed with him either. I got to have Dr. Randy Short come on and talk. But speaking of, hit that like, share, and subscribe button, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go into our next topic. I know y'all were probably waiting on this because Shawn wanted to take this, as he would say when he takes a critical examination of these videos, to the barbecue. Now, you already know what this is. I talked about it on Tuesday. The no voting, no bucking. B-U-C-K, not the you know what word, but that's essentially what they were trying to say with this ad. And as of Tuesday, when this debuted, it has over 410,000 views on its official channel, BLK Dating. BLK Dating was also responsible for the Vax That Thing Up campaign that Juvenile had. So now the app has teamed up with When We All Vote. That's an actual group, and you'll see that in a minute. They teamed up and created this minstrel piece, because that's what it is. Now, I may get a copyright strike for sharing this, but I'm going to say right now, it's fair use. It's being used for news reporting. It's being used for criticism. It's being used for commentary as of Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. And it is fair use. So I will play it, and I'm going to stop in between as much. I'm not trying to necessarily play the music, because the music sucks anyway. But they put these individuals on here, and you all just see for yourselves. Okay? You've already seen it, though.
I think we got one.
It's voting season, bruh.
Now voting, now love it. Now voting, now touch it. Now voting, now nothing. Now voting, now bucking, now voting, now bucking. Now voting, now love it. Now voting, now touch it. Now voting, now nothing. Now voting, now bucking, now voting, now bucking. BLK app looking for some action. Swear the homie stop what's heavy. Face is a 9, abs is a 10, D is a to be determined. He got mad jokes, he don't see bro. The only red flag, he said he don't vote. This midterms for all the single cuties. Wanna hit this booty, gotta do your civic duty. No.
I guess I'm not doing my civic duty, because ain't no way I'm touching that booty. I'm going to finish the rest of it, y'all. That looked like a fake smile from the dude up there.
They all look like they're pasted on.
Yeah,
now voting, now touch. Now voting, now nothing. Now voting, now bucking, now voting, now bucking. Now voting, now loving. Now voting, now touch. Now voting, now nothing. Now voting, now bucking, now voting, now bucking.
Don't stop now.
off my ballot box again, but my homegirl through. Put the bipartisan politics be so nasty. Make me wanna flirt you, show you how to be a poll worker. Legs in the air, I don't care. Anyone can get it, universal health care. If you wanna come before the deadline, come in the jacuzzi, gerrymander this coochie.
I think not. I'm not trying to catch nothing. It's Trina.
Washed up rappers for 500, Bob.
They say shake that Laffy Taffy. That's now an hour later. Hard and broken. Ugh.
No love, no voting, no touch, no voting, no nothing. Can't let me down, gotta stand up for something. No voting, no love, no voting, no touch, no voting, no nothing. BLK, we gon' stand up for something. Yeah, that's right. No voting, no love. If the coochie is to go ahead and pose. Period.
We all now. We all vote BLK. Now I want y'all. Let's look at that website together for a second. All right, let's go there. We'll come back to the page. But this is the BLK app. Now I've showed you all who owns BLK. BLK is not run by African Americans. It's owned and operated by Affinity Apps Ltd. And I've told everybody, I've showed people a picture by this man Omid Farnhag. That's the creator of BLK. And you can't tell me that they don't have some say or some control with the Democratic Party. Now, who is Omid Farnhag? Even if you look at his LinkedIn, he has a creative agency in partnership with none other than Shaquille O'Neal, aka Shaq. And they created this. He created this. He's the founder and CEO. I think Shaq is the money man behind it. But when you look at the organization, when we all vote, there are supporters of this. The co-chairs of When We All Vote. Look who it is. Michelle Obama, Becky G, Selena Gomez, Tom Hanks, her, Liza Koshy, Jennifer Lopez, Lin-Manuel Miranda, Chris Paul, Megan Rapinoe, Janelle Monáe, Shonda Rhimes, Bertman Rock, Kerry Washington, and Rita Wilson. Rita Wilson is the wife of Tom Hanks. And they were part of this. Now, I put this up for a reason because I was watching just people talking about it, and I saw Bishop Swan. And, Bishop Swan, sometimes it's hit or miss with the bishop. But and I won't give him his kudos, he came out staunchly against this. Like, he's been staunchly against coming at the Democratic Party recently because I've seen you look at his comments, he even got in it with Roland Martin. You know, you commenting on this. I'm gonna delete my tweet because but I don't want no confrontation. I'm just gonna call you a jerk so I can get let everybody know I'm smart, but I'm not.
Hey, family, y'all remember the 2020 election when we had to look at this garbage?
Now that's to get your booty to the pole.
Get your booty to the pole, 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 yeah.
Did we get your attention? Good. So, you really not gonna vote?
You know it's more than just the president on the ballot, right?
The message was clear that the only way to get black men to the polls was to sell it to them with sex. That we don't have the veracity, the intelligence, the responsibility to exercise our constitutional right to vote. And the only way that you could get us to the polls was by showing us big booties. 2 years later, we got this garbage.
No voting, no fucking, no voting, no fucking. Face is a 9, abs is a 10, D is a to be determined. He got mad show, he don't speak bro. The only red flag, he said he don't vote. This midterms for all the single cuties. Wanna hit this booty, gotta do your civic duty. No voting, no loving.
Yeah, you heard it right. No voting, no bucking. Get your booty to the poll. No voting, no bucking. You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
He went at it with Brittany Cooper. He said, "This is so rather than ask black men, you would rather assume that they are too stupid to know what Republicans stand for. The only two choices are patriarchy or a lack of intelligence. I am certain that black men, if respected enough to be asked, would answer differently." I just can't believe people don't know that she would hands down be better for Georgia, for everybody, and certainly for men of color. Watch when she loses, they're going to blame black men. That's the first thing they're going to do. That's the MO. But he said he refused to believe that Michelle Obama was behind that video. He refused to believe it. I'm trying to find the tweet. I responded to it. I had responded to it. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. I know I had it because I commented on it. He may have deleted it, but I remember. Okay, I commented on it, so I think he deleted it. But I talked about it because I talked about this video. But yeah, Bishop Swan was basically, I could tell you the gist of it. What he was saying was he refused to believe that Michelle Obama had something to do with this. But he went at it with Roland. So you commented on my tweet without watching the entire video, which referenced both the video from 2 years ago and the one released this week called "No Voting, No Bucking." I guess defending Democrats was more important than knowing what you were talking about. Man, Roland Martin's finished. Roland Martin is trash. If y'all still watching him, something you got to check, have your head examined. What the buck is wrong with you? VUCK. Since you support that. Yeah, he said it right. Black men want to discuss reparations, police accountability, systemic racism, and important issues. Yet, when we all vote, target us with no voting, no bucking. They would never target white voters with this disrespectful garbage. And he CC'd Michelle Obama and Iota Phi Theta. I don't know why Iota Phi Theta, that's the black fraternity, is part of it. But Sean, when you look at this, I want to know what are your thoughts. Obviously, I know you got a lot to say about it.
Well, I'm deeply offended by this ad, and this ad really shows me that the leftists just don't learn anything. I mean, 2 years ago, they came out here with a paternalistic campaign at targeting towards black men, telling us to take our booties to the pole. And basically, they still see black men as nothing more than a group of walking, talking penises who can be persuaded to go out here and support something all based on their lust for a woman or the atomic waste reactor between her legs. They don't see black men as intelligent, and you have all of these leftists still trying to condescend to the black man and trying to think that all he is his sexual urges. Again, this is the same way that white supremacists thought about black men during the days of slavery. And we have the Democratic Party still viewing black men in the exact same condescending and paternalistic way. And as a black man who is aware of himself and knows that I am a very intelligent man, I can say that there is more to me than going out here and chasing some tail. No, I want more from my government. And those in the blue party have shown me they have no respect for me, like here in New York with policies like the jab mandate. These leftists really show me how little respect they have for foundational Black American men by saying, oh, if we tell people not to go out here and deny it, tell people to deny us sex, this will be a reason for us to vote. No, I have a response to those who want to come up with this no voting, no vucking campaign. And this is something that I took from Jason Black and Professor Black Truth, and that is no tangibles, no black vote, no black agenda, no black vote. That's my response to those no voting, no vucking people, because it's a vucking shame that they still see a black man as a walking, talking penis instead of a man who knows how to go out here and decide on what candidate I'm going to choose based on the issues. And what's got your leftists upset is that we're no longer going out here and picking their hand-picked bootlicks anymore. And we're starting to get to a point where the late David Carroll was trying to get black people, and that is where we start creating our own agenda and we start creating our own candidates. And instead of picking their hand-picked bootlicks and allowing them to parrot an agenda to us, what we're doing is telling people what we want and making sure that we pick eventually get to the point where we pick the person who will deliver the tangibles in exchange for the vote. And that's what's got many of these leftists and many on the right really scared, that you have a black political base that is starting to become aware of itself, and those black people are start to make their own demands and starting to establish their own terms for what policies they want put in place in their communities. And that's what's got the leftist scared, because the leftist, he's the one who needs the black vote in order to win elections, but he's not bringing anything to the table for the black community. And because you're bringing nothing to the black community in exchange for a vote, most black people are saying, I don't need to vote for these clowns because they're sitting there getting rich at our expense, telling us they can't do anything for us. Our communities are going straight to shit. And these guys are sitting up here letting communities be ravaged by these urban terrorists and these thugs and these pookies and these ray-rays. And they're coming out here talking about things like, oh, we can't do anything about bail reform. And black people are fed up with these types of politicians. And you can't, and the way they're trying to pander to us again shows just so much disrespect
Yeah.
that black men are just saying enough is enough. You know, we have a response again, no tangibles, no black vote, no black agenda, no black vote. And if your candidates cannot support a black agenda, then we are going to boot their asses straight out of the offices on November 8th. and from every election day right after that.
Yeah, and shout out to the bishop for this. I applaud him on this. But yeah, a lot of people were calling out Michelle Obama on here. Now we're calling out Michelle Obama. Please leave her out of it. And
No,
call.
she's a part of it. They're all a part of it.
And somebody wrote, anybody gets called out. Anybody gets called out. F y'all talking about. Ain't no limitation to our claim and our demands. If she's a part of the problem, she gets called out too. Well, he definitely need to call out Rox McCoy because it was her who stepped on next in her own community. So if he represents the NAACP, I don't know why he's focused on Michelle Obama. All of this praise and shit. This is the problem with y'all. And I see the problem right there. Gospel, right there. I am who God said. Right there. I am who God said. You guys, so you all can look at it. God bless me. God, I can tell this is it here. Just by looking at this. You don't see the problem with this. And you're so blinded because you care about what a person looked like. That's Michelle Obama's organization. They put the ad, they co-sponsored it. Even if, so what? She's the first lady. Who gives a damn? You think I can say this as much as I didn't like the Reagans. You honestly think Nancy Reagan would have been a part of something like this? Be real. Hell, Hillary Clinton wouldn't have done. I don't think Hillary Clinton would have even done it. She doesn't have to be the director of the film or the screenwriter. If she produced it, she's just responsible in some way, and she hasn't. I have not seen her say anything about it. But all of that, God bless me, God. So what about the other people that don't have God in their tag on Twitter? You don't think God loves them? God is everybody's father. Am I right?
Yeah.
You talk about Michelle like she's the Queen Mother. Michelle is the Virgin Mary. She's not. She would not. She should come out vehemently. If she is the woman you say that she is, she needs to come out vehemently and be against this. This was disgusting. This was an insult to black. This is an insult to black people. When you see something like this, and I can tell already, even when I was looking at the young lady's Twitter page, the flags on her, she more than likely, as Tariq Nasheed says, she's probably a teller. I can tell just looking at the and I don't know the person personally.
I'll be right back in a second.
No bots, no thoughts. So the bots are the people. So she's got. I guess the bots would be Bishop. Yeah, look at what this brother put. This brother here on Marcus Brown said Democrat Jimmy Carter got 80% of the black vote. Bill Clinton got 80% of the black vote. Barack Obama got 90% of the black vote. What do black people have to show for it? What did blacks get out of it? Not a damn thing. Barack Obama actually got, in the first election, 97% of the black vote. In the second election, he got 93%. It went down a little bit. This was disgusting. And you can look at the YouTube, if you go and look at the video, I showed you the dislikes, 37,000 dislikes to 734 likes. That says something. That's telling you that people aren't watching. Look at this.
Okay. Okay,
Look
I'm back.
Huh? Yeah,
I'm back.
But look at the comments.
Yeah.
Some people are laughing at it. Some people obviously are praising it. Someone actually, they got people who support this. This is the problem. That's why black folks can't go no further. We
A
got
lot of lost folks out
our
there.
people are tied up into this bullshit. They want to be. If you want to be children of Martin and Malcolm and Medgar and Thurgood, you got to divorce yourself from the bullshit. Even Muhammad Ali, I'm sure, wouldn't condone this. Y'all supporting hood shit, Pookie shit. Pookie and Ray Ray.
Yep.
It ain't getting you nowhere. Let's segue into this. The BET Hip Hop Awards. There were people calling for a boycott of it. I saw even now of course Kodak Black had his reasons and other people talk about it, but you know, the BET Hip Hop Awards that were just this past Sunday, I didn't finish seeing the video, but shout out to O'Shea Duke Jackson. But did you know they had Fat Joe hosting the BET Hip Hop Awards? You don't know, Sean, because you don't follow it, but they were upset because a lot of people, and even Tariq brought this up, because they tried to BET tried to do this pandering in the last week about Asian Americans that contributed to hip hop, Hispanic Americans, and there was a boycott BET tag that was going around. And I saw even Kodak Black was boycotting it, and he did it because, of course, he did it for selfish reasons because Lotto won Best Hip Hop Award. But just the state of hip hop now, and from what it was, because you were coming up as a kid, you're a little older than me.
Yeah.
You remember when hip hop was
mostly black.
It was mostly black, but also
it was controlled by black men.
It was controlled by black men, and those rappers were not making a lot of money from this because
No.
nobody thought the genre was worth it. People thought it was a phase. Is that a way of saying it? A good way to say
they
it?
thought it was a fad. They thought it was going to come and go.
Yeah, people were calling for a boycott BET because of this. But yeah, this is the owner of BET, Shari Redstone. This is why I stress the importance of ownership, because when you don't own anything, how can you control anything? How can you control your image? A lot of people will just call it for. Now I'm surprised. I'm not surprised. Jason Reed is saying boycott BT is a joke. Why would you say it's a joke? Because people want to boycott it. It's not a joke of a head. Yeah, I remember when BET canceled 106 in Park because somebody made a joke about, one of the hosts made a joke about Blue Ivy. And, you know, you don't mess with the big Bayhive, right?
Nope.
You talk bad about Beyonce, you talk bad about her family or anything like that, they'll take you out. But yeah, they made a joke about her and that show got canceled. And then yeah, BET made a joke about Nicki Minaj. I see what they're saying. And Fat Joe is hosting. They had him host the Hip Hop Awards. So a lot of people took issue. Well, yeah, it was to target the younger folks, but I'm hoping a lot of young folks don't buy it. But what do you think of this boycott BT, the Hip Hop Awards, and so forth? I know you didn't watch it, but
Well, we always knew that BET was a minstrel factory. And the fact that they've gone this far, yeah, I would say it's just time to boycott them, because if you're going to sit there and say that others made contributions to hip hop's core foundation, I'd have to say you're a liar because as a kid who grew up with hip hop, I can tell you the core foundation of hip hop was mostly black and it was controlled by heterosexual black men. And yes, there were guys who were Hispanic, like your Marky D, and there were other guys out there. But the whole thing was the core of hip hop was heterosexual black men. And we were the ones who created the foundation for hip hop. We were the one who created the whole format of hip hop, which is rhythm and poetry. It was all about uplifting the black community, presenting a positive image of blackness, and showing how intelligent we were by going out here and articulating things through our raps. This was what we were doing as a people, and this is what we were doing as ourselves. So they're going to sit there and try to tell us, oh, this isn't who we are. No, this is something made by us and for us. So your BET minstrels, what they want to do is try to make it look like, oh, it's every we're going to have Fat Joe out here being the host. I mean, Fat Joe is a lame, and he always has been a lame. And they're going to go out here and have him be the host. And again, that's trying to erase our culture, erase our contributions to this art form, and try to go out here and bring in these other people passively under the form of diversity, but aggressively participating in anti Black racism by going out here and trying to take away our art form and make it something that whites can go out here and say, oh, this is ours, like rock and roll. And again, the BET is not black owned, so your BET is nothing more than a certified minstrel show, and it's been a minstrel show for many years. So the whole thing is, it's just something that I see as a one big joke, and again, not something I would really even care about because with when it comes down to your BET Minstrel Awards, they're just meant to be something again to for these black bootlicks to go out here and tap dance and get their rewards from, and it's not something about us as a people. It's not about showing us as people, and it's not presenting us as respectable people. So I look at this whole thing as, yeah, we need to boycott them because they are trying to hijack our art form. They're trying to hijack our medium, and we don't need to deal with them and their nonsense, and we don't need to deal with all of their foolishness. I mean, we can just go out here and move on. And again, BET is not black entertainment television. It's run by Sumner Redstone and Sherry Redstone at this point, and it's not black entertainment television. It's white supremacy's mouthpieces providing black entertainment for white supremacists and providing them with the entertainment they want to see. So I think what we need to do again is boycott these platforms because these platforms don't represent us and go out here and support new black media.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly I don't watch stuff on BET like talking about it too much, but uh I was disappointed just to see at this. I'm really not just even looking at BET, but just the state of hip hop now. The state of music is just from what it has. We had more control over our music back in the '90s than we do now.
Yeah,
The R&B music was much better. The artists, the record labels that they had, and look, a lot of the record labels, a lot of the companies, the publishers, they sold out. What happened? Russell Simmons owned Def Jam. Of course, Rick Rubin co-owned it with him, but they sell it to Universal. Same thing with Dr. Dre. I believe he sold his record company. He sold his stuff. Everybody sells stuff. Nobody keeps nothing.
that's the problem with black folks. We don't own anything. We
Right.
don't think about owning anything.
And it's not just the rap artists. Even Berry Gordy sold when he sold Motown. Motown was the biggest black company in the country. Didn't matter if it was in music, just as a company in general that produced that produced money. It was the largest at that time, one of the most successful company at that time, and it was independent from other music industries, other music labels. They called it Hitsville for a reason, Sean.
Yeah.
I believe they had a number one. They had the number one artist, the number one songs more than any other record label for 10 years straight. That's saying something.
Yep.
James Brown had his own record companies and stuff. I mean, yeah, he started out, he had to work for a record company when he was starting up, but then he came up above it. Yeah. I want to talk about, speaking of hip hop, this Kanye West, Candace Owens picture that was going viral. They had Kanye West and Candace Owens wearing the White Lives Matter t-shirt, and they faced backlash for it. And he basically ripped Black Lives Matter, calling it a fraudulent organization, a fraudulent group. I want to know what you think of this. Candace Owens, by the way, has a documentary that's coming up against Black Lives Matter. And according to this was at a Paris fashion show when Ye wore a shirt with the phrase White Lives Matter on the back. And alongside him, he came out with Candace Owens, who wore the same white shirt. Now, the phrase White Lives Matter emerged as a racist response to the Black Lives Matter movement in 2015 and has been adopted and promoted by white supremacist groups and sympathizers, according to the Anti-Defamation League. Now, watch CBS because now they're talking about Kanye West's mental health briefly on here because you know he does have bipolar disorder. But you know, I don't know if we can just blame this all on bipolar disorder. That he's just crazy. That he just has issues. Remember when he got called out when he was at TMZ when he said slavery was a choice, and Van Lathan called him out for that. Now, I'm not trying to play anything from TMZ because we know what happens. And oh God, they got Moise Lamont Hill talking about it. We don't need. I don't even need to know. Ugh. This is the same Moise Lamont Hill that was talking shit about Bill Cosby because he tried to get him fired. Bill Cosby tried to get him fired from Temple University because he was talking shit on him.
Okay.
Oh, so yeah, I'm just looking at BLM's statement. They released a statement about the shirts that were worn by both Kanye, the shirts that were worn by Kanye and Candace Owens. And they basically said their shock and disappointment. It was an affront to Black Lives Matter, which has been measured as the largest racial justice movement in history. Now, I think that's a farce. Black Lives Matter has been proven, and I agree with Kanye West on this, to be a ripoff. They used the death of black men to push a gay feminist organization, and they said it in their mission statement. And you see this here. They say Black Lives Matter was birthed in 2013 in response to George Zimmerman's acquittal for the murder of 17-year-old Trayvon Martin. The boots on the ground have always been everyday people committed to ending state-sanctioned violence against Black people. We took to the streets, demanded policy change, shifted narratives, and built a mass movement that are now to build a world where all of our people can live and walk freely. You also built and bought mansions for yourselves. Your leaders did to drink margaritas and lemonades and host parties talking about paintings and Liberace, only eating cheese. Sean, what do you think of this about Kanye, or as they say, Kanye and Candace Owens?
I think that we have more minstrels tap dancing for white supremacy. I mean, your Kanye West and your Candace Owens wearing White Lives Matter t-shirts basically is them going out here and book dancing and bojangling for white supremacy by wearing a white supremacist shirt. I mean, White Lives Matter is all part of the same campaign that All Lives Matter is. And again, wearing these shirts is basically saying that you're supporting these types of individuals and their movement. And when I look at your Kanye West, I can't say that he's doing this as part of him being bipolar. Your Kanye West has been just one of these bootlicks for a while, and he's been showing us that he is all about supporting white supremacy, the same way your Candace Owens is all about supporting white supremacy. I mean, they say that they're so-called conservatives, but when I look at their the talking points that they support, it's not looking like they're trying to support empowering black people, but looking to get brownie points with those white supremacists in the entertainment industry and hoping to gain their favor by going out here and taking these stances. So when I look at your Kanye West and Candace Owens wearing that shirt, again, it's the kind of statement that tells me this is not somebody I want to support, and it's not somebody I want to even deal with at this point. And I'm glad that these bootlicks are out here making these statements because they're letting me know who the enemy is and who to avoid supporting out here.
Well, do you I think we would agree on this though, Sean. The Black Lives Matter as an organization is
Yeah,
faulty.
Black Lives Matter is a clown show on the left, but the whole thing is we've got minstrels on the right. We have to understand we have enemies on both sides, and we have to call out the enemies on both sides. I mean, remember, your white supremacists like to take both sides of the argument, and they like to have bootlicks and shills on both sides. I mean, when I look at Kanye West, he's no different than that minstrel Herschel Walker. When I look at him and Candace Owens, they are the exact same side that your Herschel Walker is on, and your BLM is on the other side of the coin. So you're dealing with, when you're dealing with white supremacy, again, you're dealing with two sides of the same bent coin. And when you're dealing with those two sides of the same bent coin, neither side should have any value to foundational Black Americans because this coin is a raw deal. And it just, again, has no real value to us because this coin is all about going out here and getting wealth at our expense. And these types of people, they want to make stances to get us on either side of a coin that again doesn't bring any value to our community.
This is the documentary that Candace Owens is producing. This is a trailer for it, so we're going to say fair use, fair use. It's being used for commentary purposes, criticism under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, news reporting and scholarship. Let's play a little bit of it.
Their 990 IRS filing. They collected $80 million. Where is that money?
It's not here. Everything looks worse than it was.
Where have you seen that money impacted throughout the city? So my producer just sent me a link. It is just shocking to me because of how much money was raised to think that where he lived, the bills weren't being covered. Super frustrating, but that's dead end. So, and here's where it gets really interesting. Ready for some BLM pride? Another $200K went to escorts, BDSM workers, strippers, peep show workers, phone sex operators, and webcam performers. And then at that moment, it became personal. And I thought, not only am I going to say the truth, I am going to scream the truth louder than you can scream the lies.
Now beware, guys. When she's doing this stuff,
It's incredible that the majority of the world hasn't seen this.
It's that's a conservative news wire. if I'm not mistaken. Everything that's done is tied to some group. They're doing something to discredit one, and the one group is trying to do something to discredit the other. That's how that works. Now, she may be right very well about Black Lives Matter, and I've always been suspect of them, and other reports have actually come out about your BLM being corrupt, corruption within its uh, organization, its chairpersons, and I agree with that. I do like the Black Lives Matter slogan. Yes, Black lives do matter, but I do not like the organization. But nevertheless, when it's coming from a Candace Owens, you have to also take it for a grain of salt, as what Shawn is talking about, because we have opportunists on the left and the right. Candace Owens, to me, is no different than Roland Martin. Honestly, they're no different to me. Or she's no different than Joy Reid and Tiffany Cross. They are different sides of a coin, but it is not in your interest. It's not your money. Believe that, honey. We're going to take a quick call, if people want to call in, because I got one last topic I want to talk about with Shawn, and it'll be quick. But if you want to call in, Ken, I saw Cheryl was asking if they were going to call in. You could call in briefly if you would like. 504-656-6760, 504-656-6760. All right. I want to get this. No, I won't forget Stax Records. Yeah, Stax Records actually went down when Otis Redding died. Even with Isaac Hayes doing the Shaft album and Hot Butter Soul, it was on life support. But yeah, they sold Otis Redding's entire catalog, I believe, to Atlantic Records. So I think we got Cheryl calling in right now. So let's see if we can get her.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
All right. Good evening, Cheryl.
Good evening. How you doing?
I'm doing fine, dear. What you got?
Just about the Kanye West and the Candace Owens thing. That was disturbing to me because, we know white lives matter. They always have. So for them to wear those shirts like that, it was kind of shocking to me.
Mm-hmm.
It bothered me. But my point about it is if they're trying to expose the BLM, then why did they have T-shirts on that said, BLM is a scam or BLM is whatever? But to have the White Lives Matter to me was just like, they're supporting their lives more than our, Black lives. So that was the issue I had with that.
Yeah, well, Candace Owens has always said, and I told this on Dana's show earlier today. I was on her show when I called in and spoke with her and Judge Joe Brown. Candace Owens has always been known she has a self-identity issue. I think both her and Kanye have that, but more her, because I think she's doing it also for money, but she certainly has a hatred for her own people. When you can go online, and not just her, that other dude, that Brandon Tatum dude, they did videos, I'll never forget, condoning what happened to Ahmaud Arbery, defending what those vigilantes did. These were not cops, mind you. They tried to say, well, they affected a civil arrest. No, they didn't. They didn't have a citizen's arrest because they didn't know he committed a crime. They didn't know why he was in that house. And according to what came out at trial, Multiple people have been in that home. It was being constructed. People were looking to see how it was coming along, and they killed him because he was black. But your Candace Owens, your Brandon Tatum, and a few others would think, well, he got what he got. He shouldn't have been there. The roles were reversed. We know they wouldn't have said that.
Oh, true. I was watching earlier with Dane and the judge, and I also called in. And according to Judge Joe Brown, of course, that was the First Amendment right to free speech, which I understood where he was coming from with that. But again, that was not their point. Their point was to discredit Black Lives Matter. So again, like I said, why didn't they have BlackLivesMatter.org as a scam or a sham or something along that line? They chose BlackLivesMatter.org. And where that shirt like that, I thought it was just ridiculous. But again, like I said, we know that White Lives Matter, it always have. So to me, that was just, just ridiculous for them to do that. But knowing where they're coming from, I understand their agenda, that they've got an agenda. So that's all I wanted to say about that this evening.
All right. Thank you, dear. Appreciate it, Cheryl.
Hey, you're welcome. And just some other folks to call in because I get a little, I don't want to be the one that calls in every time you take calls.
Well, we know Danielle doesn't call in because she's got the baby with her. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but we try and get everybody to call in. Thank you, Cheryl. Cheryl always calls in and contributes to the show, to the channel. That's another thing, everybody. Please donate to the Cash App. You see it, Gavin Reshaw, Esquire, Gavin Reshaw, Esquire. If there's anybody else that wants to call in, we can give them one more minute. They can call in because I do want to get the next topic in because so we can get out of here in a second. Oh, speak of the devil. Or should I say angel? Say hello to Danielle, everybody.
Hello.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Gavin.
Good evening.
Good evening, Danielle. I just want to say I'm so happy that you will be here tonight because Skip and I, we were waiting on you, girl. Skip and I wanted to know if Danielle was going to come on here and state her restitution because, Shannon Sharp, Shay Sharp, always like to get his restitution.
I'm trying not to laugh too much, Gavin. These allergies are killing me.
Go ahead, you sissified punk. Go ahead, you beauty queen. I'm so sick of this dissatisfaction, dysfunction. Oh, damn, be a woman.
Okay. First thing, the video, I was highly offended by that. And I saw, I don't know if anybody else picked up, the hidden messages in the video of the things that they were pushing besides, the obvious message or whatever. That, and then, with the thing with Kanye and Candace Owens, not surprised at all. I guess I'm just to the point now, I guess we're just in a day and age and, just expecting unexpected with these people and stuff, Just, I don't even know what else can you say about those two. And like you said, Candace, yeah, she's an opportunist, definitely. Definitely have a self-hatred for herself and her people, But, yeah, I'm just over the whole thing, honestly. I think the thing we're trying to get us to vote and everything with that video, definitely not the way to do it. And it was disgusting. I told my daughter about it. She just laughed. She said, okay, when I told her about the video, she said, okay, what else are they throwing at us now? She wasn't surprised to hear it. And when I told her about it, she was like, okay. That's all she just said. What can you say? I'm like, but I just hate how they're putting this image out about us. I hate how they are trying to flip it on black men. Black men don't vote. It's their fault. They're in the situation right now. No, black men have had enough, and I commend our black men for standing up for those that's waking up, for all of the black men and women that are waking up to the BS,
And to the ones that want to follow the filth and debauchery, oh well, we know to stay away from them kind of people. So that's all I have to say.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm not gonna keep y'all. I'm gonna let y'all go. Y'all have a good night. Be one.
Yeah. Thank you, Ray. B1. I appreciate Danielle calling in. She's right about the video. It was disgusting. I want to go to our last topic because I know Shawn is getting tired. I'm getting a little tired too. Y'all gotta please support this channel. Support Shawn. Go buy Stop Simping in Cyberspace on Amazon right now to support him. Of course, you also know if you have not, you better buy this book. I ask people, Gavin, why you don't promote your book? I promote every day. The trailer comes on every time we start the live stream. I had Andrew Wyatt on here. He said, go buy the book. He said it was the definitive version of the trial. It laid out everything. Y'all saw it, go buy it. Come on, please, support. Donate to the Cash App, the PayPal. We're going to get 1,000 likes here. Come on. I asked everybody in the chat. I got 4 votes right now. Do you think the BLK ad that you saw, the No Vote, No Bucking ad, will work? So far, the consensus, all no. All no. You all don't think it's going to work. I think it's going to backfire too in November. But the last thing I want to talk to Shawn about is this movie that was, I don't know if you heard about it. It's called Bros. Now, had you heard of this, Shawn?
Yeah, Bernard told me about it a couple weeks ago.
Oh, Bernard Johnson.
Yeah, when we did a live, we talked about it, and I could look at the whole way they marketed this movie. They basically had no faith in it.
Well, look at how the poster, this is the poster for the movie. Okay? This is the poster. It's a romantic comedy. And most men, you know this already. First off, men don't like romantic movies anyway.
No. Only reason why we go to a rom-com is if we're trying to get some draws from a girl. That's all.
Correct. But this is the poster.
Yeah. Ain't no straight man going to go see that. No.
But if you don't see it, according to Billy Eichner, something's wrong with you. You blame us. So he blamed the audience, the straight people, for not coming to see his film. Because when it debuted at the box office last week, it went to number 4, which is not very good. So it opened with $4.8 million. And one of the things I think that did it in was in the trailer, was that they said actually there was a certain part where they said straight people, especially in certain parts of the country, just didn't show up for Bros. But I believe in the trailer, they said straight people, quote, had a good run. Now, if you think about this from a perspective, especially a scientific perspective and just a practical perspective, you don't even have to put religion and science versus each other. If there are no straight people, I don't believe you can have gay people in the world. Am I right?
Yeah, you're right.
Nobody wants to see a man getting his lemon squeezed by another man.
No.
I don't care. It's just not my taste. It's not something I would see. But he blamed straight people for the movie not flopping. But
it ain't our fault.
People are not going back to the movies like talking about it either. That's been down, especially since COVID.
Yep.
I realize that factors in as well. Now, of course, with Top Gun, when that came out, the reason why that people saw that was because Tom Cruise, number one, is a box office draw. Always has been, always will be. The other thing is that everybody wanted to see a sequel to Maverick. That was a classic. Top Gun is a classic 1980s movie. So everybody's going to go flop to see that. So that's why Tom Cruise wanted everybody to see it in the movies. He didn't want to see it as a streaming on streaming. But he got mad that the film flopped. And they're saying really the fault is that they should have put it on a streaming service. If you read this article from the Hollywood Reporter, and they said it felt more like his finger. What it felt more like finger wagging rather than an invitation. Most of the TV shows you see now, they all have. Yeah, he decried homophobia as the reason why the film flopped. And I mean, we talk about this too. The agenda is in everything. Uh, do you watch the Chucky series?
Have not watched it. Probably will not.
You won't watch it because of the agenda in it.
No.
No, I'm saying, is that the reason?
No, I'm not interested in it.
You're not interested in horror movies, or
I like my horror movies, but I'm not a fan of this Chucky series.
Had you tried to watch the first episode of it?
I don't even watch that much TV anymore. Only thing I watch is wrestling.
You don't watch TV that much, but
yeah. I used to be a TV junkie back when I was a kid, but content is so bad that I have stopped watching.
Yeah. Well, Don Mancini, who created it, he's gay.
Yeah.
He throws a lot of that in, and the thing with the Chucky series is the kids. It involves teenagers. The main character is in love with the black male character. He's a teenager himself, and this second season they opened it up with them kissing. So it was. I'm not gonna say too much, but yeah, but I mean that's essentially what's happened in it. But they push a lot of that, I think, in TV, and it's called, even with the Dahmer series, and then they wrote an article talking about black homophobia because we about the character on the show P Valley, how they reacted with that, but not with Dahmer. P Valley was a fictional character. Those are fictional characters. The character Lil Berger is fictional. Jeffrey Dahmer was a real person. He was a devil that killed and ate people. And he got away with it for a decade because I'm white and I say so. That's the truth.
Yep.
That's the truth. And he was gay.
He was.
That's not is it indoctrination of, I know it's not all gay people are murderers, of course not. Like all black people are drug dealers. But he was a part of that life. He went to bathhouses. He did all types of stuff to do this. And he was evil. But they didn't want the representation of it. I get it. But you see how quickly they were able to get that off the air? To remove that tag? They didn't mess around. But he's blaming homophobia for this. They're blaming homophobia for the movie flopping. And I can tell you, if Billy Eichner is trying to get straight people to come to his shows, his next movie, he's not going about it correctly. What do you have to say, Shawn?
I'd have to say your Billy Eichner basically has alienated most of the people out here who possibly might have gave his movie a chance when he went on the MTV Video Music Awards. Now, the MTV VMAs, he went out here on a rant where he attacked Judge this Clarence Thomas, called the audience homophobes, and then said, "Oh, I want you to go see my movie Bros." Well, that's not a selling point for customers when the producer and one of the actors in a movie goes out here and attacks the audience. I mean, you can't go out here and attack the customer and potential customers and then expect them to spend money with you. And Billy Eichner went out here and did this. And the thing was, he was so arrogant and so full of himself. He thought, oh, I'm making the so called first gay romantic comedy. And he didn't hear about the history of alphabet films, such as many that are on Tubi right now that you can watch for free. And he didn't know about the iconic film Brokeback Mountain. Now, your Brokeback Mountain came out decades before your Bros, but your Billy Eichner is acting like his is the first film out here. But the whole thing is that he just doesn't understand that you're not the first one to make an alphabet film. They've been around ever since I was back in high school, but they were many small indie films. But even those people knew better than to go out here and to speak against the audience. Now, your Billy Eichner wants to attack the audience, but most people, like myself, who were straight, we didn't even know this film even existed. I mean, I didn't know about it until King BJ Bernard told me that the film was out here. And we were talking about how this film's logistics just showed how little the studio truly cared about this film. Because as somebody who has studied the entertainment industry and has worked around the entertainment industry, I can tell you when a film is released on September 30th, that means the studio basically has given up on that film, has no faith in that film. And that really showed to me by the release date. Because if a studio has faith in a film, they're going to either give you a April release where they believe they can make a little bit of money before the summer box office season starts, or they're going to give you a summer release, or they're going to give you a holiday release, which is October 15th to about December 25th. And if you get that December 25th date, man, you got a gold date because that means they really believe in you. Moreover, when you're dealing with the studios, they will give you a marketing budget, and that film you'll be seeing that trailer inside of theaters. You'll be seeing film trailers on in front of their TV shows. They will be out here promoting that film. And even though I don't watch that much television out here, I don't see many ads for Bros. I didn't even see ads for Bros on social media, and I see trailers for lots of films on TV when I'm watching the occasional show like MasterChef or wrestling, and I'll see a trailer for a movie like Smile. I see trailers for all sorts of other movies, but I never saw a trailer for Bros at all. And that's one of the things that was a red flag for me because, again, if a studio has faith in a film, they're going to take part of their airtime and put ads on the main channels of your CBS, your NBC, your Fox. They're not going to go out here and put it on some obscure channel. I mean, again, this was not even seen on social media. Again, I didn't even know this film existed until King BJ told me about it. And again, that's a bad sign for a film when you don't have anybody talking about your film or advertising your film. And again, it shows that the studio executives that your Billy Eichner thought he had were his Bros really were the ones who pulled a swerve on him. And it was those studio executives who basically screwed your Billy Eichner because they didn't go out here and have the faith in this film, and they couldn't tell your Billy Eichner, hey, this film is just not going to make it at the box office. Because if this was a good studio executive, they would have told him up front, look, dude, this film is a rom-com. The whole market for rom-coms went out around 2004, 2005, and people don't go to see rom-coms anymore. I mean, that whole genre has been dead for a good about, I'd say, about 10, 15 years at this point. But he's sitting there thinking he's going to go out here and revitalize this. But the whole thing is that no, there's no market for this kind of film. I mean, he's sitting there getting mad at straight people, but the whole thing is that straight people have no real interest in watching a gay romantic comedy, because the only reason why a woman would want to go see a romantic comedy is because she identifies with the heroine, and the only reason why a guy is going to take a girl to a romantic comedy is because he wants to get into that skid mark thong and get a taste of that atomic waste. That's the only reason why he's going to go to sit through that romantic comedy, is because he's hoping to be able to get some of them draws the same way that the characters are getting the draws. But there's no real reason for a straight man to go to a gay romantic comedy, because there's no skin in the game for him. So he's getting mad at straight people, but straight people have to have a reason to come to see your movie. And this guy thought, oh, he's going to push on identity politics, but identity politics don't sell romantic comedies. No, what sells a romantic comedy is a guy's opportunity to get the draws. And that's the only reason why he's taken a woman to go to that movie, because he knows that women will identify with that heroine. And once she's in her feelings about that heroine, then he's got a better chance of getting those draws after that movie.
The draws, okay?
Got the draws. Look, I made Shawn laugh.
Mr. Payne.
Yeah. We'll see if you go see Bros.
I mean, and Billy needs to ask is, where were all those alphabet people? I mean, this is one of the things that the SJWs don't understand. Where are all those alphabet people who you say are wanting this movie? I mean, why didn't they show up for the movie? Critical question he needs to ask. Why didn't the alphabet people come out in force? I mean, they came out for Brokeback Mountain, but they didn't come out for his movie. And he needs to ask the question, okay, where are all these LGBTQ people who say, oh, I really want a movie, I want representation, but why didn't you show up and represent at the box office when it was time for this movie to come out?
Yeah, because it was boring. It sucked. That's the
Yeah.
Nobody's interested. I wouldn't see that crap. So I'll be real. Y'all hit that like, share, and subscribe button, ladies and gentlemen. We are wrapping it up right now. Of course, we ask that you support this channel. I can't stretch that enough. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button. You know, YouTube has us on a bit of a shadow ban. So if you hit that like, share, and subscribe button to support this channel, we greatly appreciate it. Go to Amazon Kindle, get the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus William H. Cosby Jr., The Destruction of Due Process in the United States. Donate to the Cash App, PayPal, Zelle, or Google Pay. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank everyone that has contributed. To our callers, Danielle and Cheryl Massey, I appreciate it. Of course, you can support our brother by buying books like Stop Sinking in Cyberspace and The Man Crisis, and pre-order The Woman Crisis on all platforms, in particular on Amazon. Shawn, you want to tell us what your live stream will be about tomorrow?
My live stream tomorrow is going to be about Tia Mowry and her divorce and how she's a woman in crisis. I'm taking her straight to the barbecue, so everybody go bring your paper plates, because this is going to be applewood roast.
Yeah, 14 years of marriage. 14 years of marriage. They were together even before that.
Yeah.
And they have, what, 2 children together?
Yeah.
Do you think marriage is dead in the United States?
I don't think marriage is dead. I just think people they wind up getting involved with this feminism stuff, and it winds up messing them up.
Well, what are your thoughts on just divorce in general? You think it's necessary?
I'm not a fan of divorce because it destroys families. It turns women into complete wrecks, and it makes men really messed up. I'm not a fan of divorce. It's not a good thing. And it's not a good thing because a lot of people don't really see that the world that you're going out into is a horrible place, and it's better for you two to stay together than be apart from each other, because that world out there, once you get older, it's a really rough place.
It is, but I mean, you would rather be alone and single and happy versus.
You never want to be alone because it's like when it comes down to it, with with a lot of women, they want to get divorced, but they don't understand what's out there. I mean,
But I
you have a
mean, what I'm saying though is that if a marriage deteriorates to the point where nobody is happy, and would you want to be in a relationship with someone that's just miserable all the
well,
time?
they're going to be miserable no matter what, whether they're alone or together. I mean, they're just going to be miserable because they don't want to put the work in on themselves. What I see with a lot of people is what makes them miserable is that they just don't, they stop putting in work on themselves. They
Right.
give up on things, and that's why they wind up miserable.
Well, Sean, you don't have. You said you don't want to be alone, but I mean, you don't have a girlfriend.
I don't have one right now. I mean, I've always wanted one, but the whole thing is you've got a lot of this. If you've got a good marriage, don't mess it up. But if I had, I mean, I just didn't see anybody out here I could get with. And also my finances weren't in the right place, but always wanted a girlfriend, but what things just didn't work out. But if you've got a
We're gonna
marriage,
Sean, guys. Let's start a campaign. We want Sean to have a girlfriend.
but like I said, I was like, if you find the right one, you stay with that right
We
one.
got.
And I think Tia Mowry's making a huge mistake.
Well, we're gonna get Sean a girlfriend real soon. We're gonna try. We're gonna do a campaign for him. A Kickstarter campaign. Sean gets the girlfriend.
Well, we'll make it a comic.
Yeah, he's gonna take a critical examination of that campaign to get himself a girlfriend. Now, if you want to see more of Shawn James, I suggest you subscribe to his YouTube page, Shawn James. Watch his live stream on Fridays, and actually watch him on Thursdays doing Random Topic Thursdays. And you can hit the like, share, and subscribe button and click on his link for more videos. So I might go as Sean for Halloween. And gotta grow a flat top. I got the laugh. I gotta get the laugh down. I'm taking your Duchess of Ratchetness to the barbecue. The black girl magic has turned into the black girl tragic. That's a good one. All right. Well, Sean, I always thank you, bro. Darius said you can hang out with him. Oh,
We'll see.
Yeah. Darius in Atlanta. Yeah, they got him out there, but you got to be careful too. You got to look under the necks. You're going to end up with Saucy Santana.
No thanks.
With a beard out there in Atlanta. Those queens. Now, our queens, our lesbians and stuff, sometimes it's hard to tell whether it's a woman or a man. Atlanta, they don't hide. Atlanta, man, that's the capital, though. Outside of San Francisco. You're gonna see queens out in Atlanta with BBLs. Ugh. Do you remember when Lizzo had the BET Awards? Corey Holcomb said something real funny. Corey Holcomb said Lizzo's dancers, all of them were like the descendants of Rerun. When I heard that, I just laughed my ass off because you go back and look at it. Yeah, all of the dancers were over 200 pounds, over 250 pounds, had to be.
Be a miracle if the stage could hold up under him.
But it's a miracle nobody collapsed from a heart attack.
Hmm.
Damn. Well, exercise is good for them. It's good for all of us, even me. I'm overweight, so I'm not judging anybody, but damn. Yeah, Bussy Warriors are all over America flock to Atlanta. Yeah, it's like the Justice League headquarters, the Juicy League, the Juicy League, the Bussy League. Meanwhile, at Club Shishi's in Atlanta, the voiceover from Super Friends. A secret lair that was in the Blue Flame Lounge. Man, the Blue Flame Lounge, the old one. I went to Atlanta. I haven't been in a while, but I heard, but that was the strip club there. And it was beautiful, good girls there. But I don't know what it's like now. How's Magic City in Atlanta? I know it's expensive. I ain't never been. And of course, if my girlfriend is watching, honey, I never will be. Okay, we will wrap this up. Oh, before I leave, I gotta remind you all: if you are in the New Orleans area, October 15th, you need to come out to the hottest comedy show in New Orleans on October 15th at the Well, 7 p.m. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Comedy comes back to the Well October 15th. You don't want to miss it. We have some of the best comedians in town. You go to Eventbrite right now. We're going to have Will Merrill from Baton Rouge. I also got Terry Scott headlining. Terry Scott, the sit-down comedian. I have my girl Corey Mosley, who's going to be there. I got B-Dub, and of course, Brandon Haynes, one of the hottest comedians right now in New Orleans, ladies and gentlemen. You need to go right now to Eventbrite, order you some tickets. They're going fast, by the way. I've had several just this week pass. We got a couple of left, a few tickets left, but you can still buy. There's time, but you get it now. It's $15. Terry is, going to be headlining. It's going to be a great night. You get a drink. And enjoy yourself. Get your laugh on. This is Get Your Laugh On Part 2. In August, we had Get Your Laugh On Part 1. And this will be even that show was a great show. I have no doubt this sequel is going to be an outstanding show. You will not be bored when you come to a Gavin Richard produced comedy show. I bring the heat, ladies and gentlemen. These comedians are great. Come on out, get your tickets. Click on that little tickets button right there and order tickets with your lady. Man, bring your family out. Have a good time. I'm not going to a strip club. Okay, I told my girlfriend no more strip clubs. We never said that, but she knows I'm not going. I can't do that stuff. Okay, y'all, that's it for today's broadcast, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all. Of course, thank you, Shawn James. Now, of course, we have gotten them down. It is now time to get on up. So let's boogie and get on up, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, get this on iTunes right now. If you have not, you need to blast this everywhere because you got to feel the groove and get on up. So let's get on up and get out of here. Thank you, Shawn.
Thank you. Good night.
Girl, come on. Gotta dance to the beat, because on the dance floor is where we'll be. Show me what you got. Gotta feel the groove. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up. Right now the party's wasted. There's nothing much to do. But once the groove gets started, tell me, what do you have to lose? Just look into my eyes, girl, as we glide across the room. And what to my surprise now, the beat takes hold of you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really moving. Time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up. Tell the DJ play the whispers. rock steady in the mood. Put on earth, wind, and fire. Tonight we're gonna groove. Show me how you do the four corners. Electric slide or two. Hit the bus stop or do the bunny hop, baby. It's really up to you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really grooving. Time to get your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up.
Now, 2020 hasn't been the best year of all times. We've been dealing with death, the pandemic, racism, bad policing, and all the bad rhymes. But like Uncle Snoop once said, if you're breathing, you're achieving. So if you're ready, I need you all to get on up. Are you ready? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Get your butt on the dance floor. 5 and 6 and 7, 8. This jam we appreciate. We're gonna slide and step on the beat. On the dance floor is where we'll be.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up, baby. Yeah, gotta get on up. Come on, baby, gotta get on up, baby. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up.